Tensions in the Middle East are escalating as both Iran and Israel continue to exchange heavy rhetoric and military strikes. Iranian's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, in a speech on state television has warned that any US strike on Iran will have, quote, serious irreparable consequences, adding that Israel made a huge mistake and will be punished. Meanwhile, Iranian officials say they will not accept peace or war imposed by others. On the military front, Israel has struck several Iranian nuclear facilities, including sites at Karaj and Tehran. The International Atomic Energy Agency confirms that advanced centrifuge production facilities were also hit. In retaliation, Iran has launched missiles at Israeli cities, including Tel Aviv, Haifa, Eilat, with tensions between the two nations showing no sign of de-escalating. Russia has also weighed in, cautioning the US against direct military assistance to Israel, warning it could destabilize the region. Turkish President Erdogan has also condemned Israel's actions, calling Iran's defense of itself legitimate. Meanwhile, the US and European diplomats urge dialogue, but both sides seem entrenched in their positions. And lastly, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has declared that Iran will show Israel no mercy as their air war enters its 6th day. His warning came in a social media post calling for a strong response to the Israeli regime. This follows a message from US President Donald Trump, who said America's patience is wearing thin and warned that while there's no plan to target Khamenei for now, the US is considering deeper involvement. We're now joined by our guest today, Nina Slama, who's an India foreign policy expert at Reichstag University, located in Israel. Thank you very much for joining us. Nina, obviously we want to start with the idea that the US might get involved in this conflict. Do you think Israel should be encouraging direct US military involvement, especially under a Trump administration, knowing the regional escalation that it could cause?
Thank you, sir. So first of all, it is important to understand that the US and Israel are collaborating very closely when it comes to the current war in Iran. Iran is posing an imminent threat not only to the Jewish state, but also to other countries in West Asia and other countries in the world, because their ballistic missiles can attend not only countries in the Middle East or West Asia, but also countries in Europe. So Israel is now making sure, together with the US and other great allies, that this imminent threat is addressed. Now, it is not a perceived threat. We know that Iranian officials are declaring for more than 4 decades that they would like to bring death and annihilation to Israel and the US. And because Israel and other allies understood that Iran is developing very quickly its nuclear weapon and nuclear program, this threat should be addressed as soon as possible before they will reach this capability. We know very well that Iran is in the head of the axis of terror that is spread all over West Asia, naming just Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, Shiite militias in Iraq and Syria. And this is why Israel and its allies, including the US, decided that it was time to address the threat of Iran. One can just imagine the detrimental and catastrophic implications that could happen if Iran and its proxies would have a nuclear weapon.
Nina, you argue that Iran is a major threat, but doesn't a joint US and Israel strike risk uniting Iranian factions and undermining opposition from within Iran?
So As Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel said, that this war is not against the Iranian people, it is against the Iranian regime. That is a despotic regime that is not posing a threat only to countries in West Asia and other regions in the world, but also have been very cruel to its own people. And we know that for many years, the Iranian people tried time and again to oppose the current regime and to seek for freedom. And they were oppressed brutally. And we were able to see some visuals of this oppression. Many of them are tortured, many of them are killed. And the autocratic regime that Iran is conducting is affecting, first of all, the Iranian people. So we see some visuals where Iranian people are supporting Israel, whether it is in Iran soil or in other countries in the world, calling for the toppling of the dictatorship and of Iran, and seeking for a better future for them, because we know that Iran is suffering very much for an economic and a societal crisis that is basically due to its hegemonic aspirations in the region. Instead of directing all the wealth of the country to economic and societal programs, they are directing them to extremist ideology that fund not only the Iranian regime, but also the proxies of Iran in West Asia and other countries in the world.
Nina, the US and Israel are long-time allies, but how do you respond to the argument that Israel's reliance on US backing compromises its regional autonomy and invites long-term instability into the region?
So we know very well that in order to address existential threats and threats that are coming from state and non-state actors, and for combating terrorism, it is very important to collaborate with close allies. And just by sharing military equipment, military intelligence, and combining forces in order to address this threat. And it is very important to maintain this collaboration very closely with different allies that are ready to support democratic countries that seek stability, seek prosperity, and seek peace in the region. So this is very important to collaborate and continue the close coordination between Israel and its allies around the world.
Nina, one final question. If Trump joins this war, how should Israel prepare for retaliation, not just from Iran, but from its proxies like Hezbollah or even Iraqi militias, possibly?
So Israel has been combating a multi-front war since October 7, 2023. As we are speaking, we are not only targeting or being at war with Iran, but also in Gaza, in Lebanon. Our forces are deployed in different fronts in the border of Syria and in the eastern border as well. So, and the Houthis in Yemen that are still launching ballistic missiles to Israel. So the war is still ongoing in multiple fronts. So we are very well aware of it and very well prepared for a possible retaliation of different proxies. But we can see that these proxies have been very much weakened by Israeli forces for the past 1.5 years, thanks to Israel's policy and military operations in these different fronts. So I believe that Israel, the US, and other allies are well prepared for any kind of scenario.
Nina Slammer, thank you very much for joining us on the program. We now